for us, what is a non-compete clause?
So this is a provision in your employment contract, which you may or may not have read when you actually signed it, that restricts what you can do after you've finished your work with your current employer. So usually it stops you going to work for a competitor or to set up your own business, anything that would be competitive with your old employer for a period of time after you've finished in your current job. Now, we also see that there are typically other restraints as well that can be included in a contract, like you can't go and contact any of your boss's former clients or people you used to work with as well. But for the moment, what the government's announced is focusing on that first type of restriction.
Because there has been creep in this space, hasn't there? I mean, they weren't meant to be, as I understand it, for hairdressers, for example, or childcare workers, but with 1 in 5 workers subject to these, that captures a lot of people.
It really does. It used to be the case that you expect to see this only in the contracts of higher paid workers, professionals, people with technical expertise, but they've really spread right across the labour market. I and my colleagues at QUT did a survey recently of small businesses, and we found that around about a third of those businesses had been using these kinds of provisions in their employment contracts. And interestingly, when we asked them why they did that, almost all of them said it was really vital for their business, and yet a third of them had not even asked for those provisions to be included in the first place. So in part, this is just about standard employment clauses spreading right across the labour market into places where previously we mightn't have seen them.
So if this ban is to come in 2027 as outlined, I mean, it's not just going to be a positive for the individual, but said to be for the economy. Can you tell us why that would be?
Yeah, so there's increasing evidence that suggests that the use of these provisions across the labour market reduces mobility between jobs. And that's important because that's very often a time when workers can aim to get a pay rise. It also impedes the spread of new ideas. It prevents people who could be in a good position to set up a small business of their own from doing so. So the estimated effect on the economy is that it will not only lift wages for affected workers, or at least workers who are covered by this new ban, but it will also have a significant improvement to productivity as well.
As outlined in Jim Chalmers' budget speech, he said could boost wages by up to 4%. It could improve GDP by $5 billion. Businesses do have trade secrets, though. How can they still be protected under this?
So, for a start, there's no suggestion here that the government is going to restrict the use of non-disclosure agreements, which say that after you leave your current job, any trade secrets or confidential information you may have acquired while you're employed, you can't take with you and use against your former employer. No suggestion those provisions won't still be allowed. And it's clear there'll still be scope for businesses who are concerned about their departing employees exploiting connections with former clients from having some scope to restrict the contact with clients. We're still going to see a lot of details about this. The government has said it's consulting about the precise detail of this new ban, not coming in until 2027. It's also talking about the possibility of exemptions. So we're certainly going to see employer groups lobbying hard for this not to be a complete ban and for there still to be some scope for businesses to be able to impose some restrictions on their former workers.
And finally, Professor Stewart, the government is introducing a national licensing scheme to allow electricians to work seamlessly across borders and could expand this to other occupations. Is that a welcome move?
It really is. And look, this is the latest move in what's been a continuing attempt really since the 1990s for the Commonwealth and the states and territories to try and figure out ways of modernising our occupational licensing systems and making it easier for skilled workers to move jobs across borders. At the moment, there are many professions where if you qualify in one state, that'll be recognised in other states or territories, but you're still going to go through a process of having that formally accepted. So this is a really welcome step towards eliminating some of that red tape, making it easier to have genuinely national qualifications.
Professor Andrew Stewart from the Queensland University of Technology, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.